We're in France to look at the situation of migrants in transit. We have been mainly in Calais and the area surrounding Calais to understand why people are moving, how they're moving, and what their human rights situation is. So far we've seen similar patterns to what we've seen in other European countries, in that there is a protection gap for migrants who are in vulnerable situations, for asylum seekers, for refugees who are in these border locations, who are in transit, and we're seeing more a desire to disperse and disappear the problem. We're concerned about reports that we've heard of a lack of due process, about lack of access to legal assistance, lack of information. This is an issue that's been coming up very clearly for us throughout all of our conversations with migrants themselves as well as with the interlocutors, that there was a generalized lack of information as to where people were going, what treatment they could expect, and the situations of services, etc., that they could be provided in case they had questions, in case they had appeals. We're also hearing that a number of migrants have actually decided themselves to leave the process of transfer, and that people had disappeared from the camp even before the transfer took place, or in fact while the transfer was taking place. We're very concerned that there are at the moment vulnerable individuals in hiding in various parts of northern France, but with no access to services and protection. We're concerned about unaccompanied children, but also children with their families. We went to a center specifically for unaccompanied children and spoke to a number of Afghan boys who were telling us that they had no information about what was going to happen to them. They were waiting for a process that they didn't really understand in terms of reunification with their family members in the UK, but the process had not been explained to them. They had no idea what they were doing, how long they would have to wait, who was going to come and interview them. We're concerned that there is a general lack of child protection regulations put in place, that a guardian, an effective guardian, is not being appointed for these children, and that they are not able to access the kinds of protection in terms of asserting their best interests and who should be in charge of the children. We really appeal to the authorities to fully resource these centres so that they are able to provide standardized, good access to healthcare, to adequate food and nutrition, and to legal advice. And it is incumbent on all of us within the Office of the High Commission that work on the rights of migrants to help migrants empower themselves. The voice of every one of us counts, and we have to take care of those that are furthest behind first. These migrants, these vulnerable migrants, don't have a voice, and it is our job to help them raise theirs.